The project entitled Creative Hubs, Holistic Networking of Creative Industries via Hubs, funded by the European Regional Development Fund and the European Union, and having partner responsible the LB region of Western Greece, with the support of the Chamber of Etolakarnania via programmatic agreement and its subcontractor, addresses the key issue of having an audience in the creative and cultural industries, as well as in all sectors, as this audience is differentiated by many factors which concern business, but also economic, political, and geographical conditions. Emphasis is placed on the fact that creating and developing an audience is based on marketing, as marketing is the science that will cultivate the relationship between the product or service and its audience. In the same context, the goal of developing audiences in the cultural and creative industries is of a qualitative nature and contradicts the quantitative goals set by the market, since in this case marketing operates on the basis of supply and not demand. The project is aimed at entrepreneurs in the cultural and creative industries and includes strategies for audience development using marketing tools, as well as the use of digital platforms. At the same time, it includes material for creating an audience from the beginning, as well as for creating an audience based on the already existing audience of a business. Starting, then, an attempt is made to define the concept of marketing strategy as a plan that includes the selection of one or more common goals, the definition of marketing goals, and the development and maintenance of a marketing mix that will bring mutually satisfactory exchanges with the public. At the same time, it becomes clear that the strategy that a company can implement to select its target group is to attract the entire market with a single marketing mix, to focus on a single market segment, or to try to attract multiple segments using a lot of marketing mix. In fact, it is worth noting that the term marketing mix refers to a unique set of strategies involving the so-called 4 Ps: product, place, promotion, and price. Then, the concept of the audience is defined, which is analyzed according to the following characteristics. The consumer market consists of individuals and households who buy products and services for personal consumption. Business markets buy products and services for further processing or use in their production process, while reseller markets buy products and services to resell them at a profit. Government markets consist of government agencies that purchase goods and services to produce services of general interest or to transfer goods and services to others who need them. And finally, international markets are made up of buyers in other countries, including consumers, producers, resellers, and government agencies. In the same context, important in the analysis is the presentation of audience types, 4 in total, as these are groups that have a real or potential interest or impact on an organization's ability to achieve its goals. Thus, starting from the financial public that affects a business ability to raise capital, we can proceed with the media audience that publishes news, texts, articles, and journalistic views. Next is the government public, as the administration must take into account developments at the government and state level, starting with the local public, which includes the residents of the neighborhood and the municipal organizations, and concluding with the general audience, as well as the internal public, which includes employees, managers, volunteers, and boards of directors. Following these analyses, a distinction is made between the macro and micro environment of forces that create opportunities and pose threats to the business. Therefore, concerning the macro environment of forces, these forces which contribute significantly to the formation of the public and its preferences are the following: demographic environment, financial environment, natural environment, technological environment, political environment, and cultural environment. Similarly, on the other hand, regarding the microenvironment of forces, these forces that give those elements which are controlled by the administration are the following: the company, the suppliers, marketing intermediaries, competition, the audience, The customer. In the process, a concept of cultural marketing is presented and described, which is particularly important for the action of the project. Culture combines with the commercial variables of the product, its price, distribution, and promotion, in order to connect it with the consumer public and to achieve the objectives that go hand in hand with the mission of the cultural organizations. Thus, we can move on to the central idea of market segmentation, as all markets are heterogeneous, i.e., they consist of customers, consumers, users, who have different needs and desires. In the general market of a product or service, there are actually distinct subgroups of individuals and companies, known as market segments. In this way, consumers or customers in a particular segment of the market have similar or homogeneous needs and desires, while between different segments there is great heterogeneity in terms of their needs and desires. As the market is unable to satisfy all consumers regarding a product, since not only are consumers and their needs not the same, but the available financial resources and consumer perceptions of the products are different, it is necessary to segment the market. This term, as the project explains, refers to a process of grouping consumers from a large and heterogeneous market to smaller and more homogeneous segments, and the recognition of such segments with similar needs and characteristics as target markets in order to achieve the best consumer analysis. Thus, the case of market segmentation also affects the way a business operates successfully, as a company that has access to a homogeneous consumer segment can deepen its understanding of needs and wants, better analyze its competitors, and respond in their actions more effectively. In addition, targeting the whole market is unrealistic for a business and its financial resources. Thus, targeting a business's activities in certain market segments reduces startup and distribution costs, as it can now develop different marketing strategies in different market segments and thus better meet the needs of consumers. Finally, through segmentation, it becomes more flexible in changes that occur in each independent department and thus manages to maximize its profits. In this context, the stages of fragmentation are: 1. Selection of segmentation variables, such as those criteria on the basis of which consumers are segmented: geographical, social, demographic, psychographic variables, variables related to consumer habits, different market situation, etc. 2. Analysis of the profile of the segments derived from the use of the selected variable or variables. And 3. Evaluation of the resulting departments. After these three stages, what follows is the process of selecting the target markets, the selection of the strategies that will be used to approach the target markets, and the appropriate placement of products. An important element of this analysis is the characteristics of consumers, which can be categorized as follows. Geographical characteristics, concerning the geographical distribution of consumers, such as the population in an area, population density, or climatic conditions. Demographic characteristics, such as gender, age, marital status, educational level or income, and psychographic characteristics, such as the personality of the consumers or their way of life. Consuming can be defined as the economic activity which is influenced by the social and psychological processes of the individual who carries out this activity. In this frame, the person consumes because through it they satisfy their needs. As the individual consumer maximizes their satisfaction from the consuming of goods and services to the point that it is allowed by their income and the prices of goods, the satisfaction of their needs is equivalent to the satisfaction that the individual receives from the consuming of goods and services. One of the characteristics of the modern consumers is their lower degree of commitment to the brand compared to previous eras, as well as the lack of available time. In this way, a profile of the modern consumer in the Western world in general, and in the European Union in particular, can be composed, which is shaped by demographic, social, cultural, and economic trends and developments. At the next stages, the project focuses on the three stages of consuming, which are the following. The first stage refers to what precedes the purchase. Examples of activities involved at this stage is comparing satisfaction substitutes, paying attention to advertising messages, studying the information collected, and making a purchase decision. The second stage refers to the actual purchase, the way it is made, the quantity purchased, the price paid for the purchase of the product are examples included at this stage. Finally, the third stage refers to everything that follows the purchase. The use of the product purchased and the result of that use are two of the examples included at this stage. After all of the above have been mentioned, a distinction is made between the types of consumers, which are the informed consumer, the consumer who thinks critically, and the innovative consumer, as well as a distinction of customer types in experience-oriented, experiential buyers, offered by the whole shopping process, and product-oriented buyers, such as people with specific needs who choose that method of buying behavior that will ensure maximum overall satisfaction. In parallel, customers' expectations from the purchase of a product or service can be categorized as follows: the quality of the product or service, the friendliness of the staff, problem and complaint management, the speed, technical education, the management of requests or questions, unforgettable behavior and treatment, the dignity of the staff, the ease of problem solving, and continuous information. As the project emphasizes on improving customer service performance and the levels of customer service, the actions with which a company achieves this improvement are described based on the necessity of developing an effective customer service program, which are the following: in-depth research of consumer needs, determining service levels that make it impossible to balance revenue and expenses, use of the latest technology in ordering systems, and measuring and evaluating the performance of their independent logistics activities. The benefits of internet marketing for audience development include not only the low cost and the possibility of automation, but also a high speed and the process of monitoring statistics, monitoring and analysis. Emphasis is given to the audience development by digital means. This refers to email marketing, article marketing, viral marketing, SEO, PPC, which means a payment per click advertising, social media marketing, and also affiliate marketing. Except from this, the methodology for the development of the digital public is analyzed with the following steps. First, market research. Then, managers should see if any modifications are needed for the product or service offered based on all the new data. Then, the text or copywriting should be written that will convince the visitors of the site to become customers. The next step is the design of the website structure, the design with the help of specialized people, and the actual construction of the website, or development. And finally, managers need to think about how to make all buyers customers, or conversion, and how to maximize profit from each customer. The last part of the project refers to the case of social media and their use by the businesses with a relevant business strategy, which uses social media as a means of creating a corporate image, information, communication, and customer relationship development. In terms of social networking tools, collaboration platforms such as Facebook and Twitter can connect businesses with the rest of the world in dozens of different ways. Taking all of the above into consideration, the use of social media becomes a useful tool for promoting products on the internet and attracting new customers and partners.